Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to everyone who's been there before. I really appreciate everybody who's been watching my videos so far. It's been an exciting adventure to start, and I'm excited to see where it goes, right? So thank you. Every view counts, so keep going and make sure that you tell everybody else that you know and continue to support me. That would be awesome. But really, I really appreciate every single one of you. Today, I'm coming to you from my home. I'm not outside, I'm inside, and I love it. I mean, as much as I love being outside, I found myself becoming an outdoors person more and more in recent years, and I absolutely love it. But I also really love inside. Like my home is really a home, and I enjoy it. And at the cost, like I mean, at the price of the rent, you better enjoy your inside. I do. So, um, also, I could have actually gone outside to record, but it's threatening to rain. Fall as officially arrived, and I wasn't really, eager to take a chance. But also, my routine has been to walk, get exercise, and all that 6 times a week so that I could give my body some rest at least one day a week, which is Sunday. And it's my day off. I don't use my phone except right now because I'm recording, but I don't talk to people. Except when I used to go to football games, I would be talking to people, obviously, and using my phone to record. But it's not like a day where I'm on social media. I use my phone to do things that I would do usually during the week, right? So that's my day. I can spend it whenever, where however I want to, and that's what I do. And right now it's football season, so if you see me picking on this side of the screen, it's because there's football going on. Also, it's the first day of the WNBA playoffs, and I'm repping the girls. I don't know if you watch, but it's going to be exciting this year. Anyway, so on Sunday, I rest. And I think my body knows that too, that on Sunday I'm not supposed to do anything that's like kind of demanding. I don't have a schedule, so I didn't put like an alarm or set a time for me to actually get up because I didn't have an appointment or anything like that. And so my body was on slow mode since the morning, and that fed into like me having lower type of energy compared to um, the type of energy that I usually have throughout the week. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I find like that the body knows, like when you don't have anything to do, is like it gets into this hibernation mode, and then kicks back into gear when you have stuff to do. And this is very interesting because I have fibromyalgia. So now we're talking about my health. Finally, you're gonna say. um, so I have fibromyalgia, which makes me exhausted all the time. But the exhaustion that I get from fibromyalgia is very different from that type of exhaustion that I'm talking about today. Today is just rest, girl. Just take it easy. You don't have anything to do. You don't have anywhere to go. Whatever it is that you want to do, just do it at your own pace. Like it's not, it's okay. So I've taken that to heart and I've been taking it easy all morning. So now I'm feeling tired, and you might probably notice that I don't know if you notice the difference between my energy in this video and the other ones because I'm not walking and I'm not outside and whatever, but I can feel it. I'm not gonna apologize for it because there's nothing to apologize for. It's not gonna change anything anyway. But it's just to say. And also, so on the topic of fibromyalgia, that exhaustion that I feel constantly, it's very difficult to explain to anyone who hasn't experienced it because it's more of a drain than anything else, and you constantly have to push through. And the difficulty of pushing through is that you don't know oftentimes um, if it's wise to push through and how far you can take it until you start feeling the consequences of maybe having done too much, which is what happened to me this week. And I really wanted to talk about it because it's one of those things that are part of my journey that makes it, yeah, spicy, but also so complicated to live through, but also to explain to other people. And frustrating also, I have to say. So earlier this week, I had a lot to do. And so I had, sorry, I lost my train of thoughts, rather. Okay, so earlier this week, I had a lot to do. And including editing the previous video and all that. But I had some administrative things to do, and I had to keep moving also. So going for walks and making sure that I included these things into my routine as usual. And so Monday went okay. Tuesday, uh, not so okay, but I didn't feel it right in the moment as I was doing those things. I was just feeling the fact that the humidity level was starting to feel heavy on me. And this is what I was referring to in my previous video when I was talking to you about why summer is not my favorite season of the year, and also why the heat and the humidity really affects me. It's because it affects the way I feel and it makes my body react in ways that are not always predictable and sometimes can actually stop me from doing anything. It's just painful. So I could feel that. I went to administrative office to deal with a situation that's been pretty complicated and nerve-wracking and stressful, but I was just trying to get some answers and deal with it as it came, and not trying to overburden myself with like stress that did not need to be there in that particular moment. So I dealt with that. Then I came back home. No, actually, I didn't go back home. I went to the pharmacy, and then I went to a coffee shop to meet with some group of my friends, were elderly gentlemen, all above the age of 80. And I was continuing to edit the video, but I could feel that things were starting to shift inside of me, like my muscles, my joints, everything was just like telling me something's happening. And so I continued to work for a bit, and then I went home, had dinner, went to bed. I did some additional work for a little bit, and then I just stopped because I was tired, and also I could feel that my head was starting to throb. And this is usually a sign whenever the humidity in the air starts rising even more. I get like a throbbing headache. So I started feeling that, and then my entire body started screaming and feeling all types of different types of pains all at once: stabbing pain, burning pain, shooting pain, numbing pain, anything you can think of that I was feeling. And that went on all night long, to the point where I had to bury my head in the pillow to scream. Yeah, I did that. Um, and I was crying because the pain was just so bad. Makes you hate everything. It even makes you hate being there, like because you're like, why do I have to experience this, right? So it makes you feel, yeah, you just hate everything. You just want it to stop, and you know it's going to stop. So you keep that in the back of your mind, these two shall pass, but you're like, but when? When are you gonna stop? Because right now you're winding up, sis. So Miss Fibromyalgia was doing all kinds of stuff. I'm being nice right now calling her Miss Fibromyalgia because I wanted to call her something else entirely. If you catch my meaning, but I didn't, and I'm not going to do that now. But it was terrible. So all night, that's what I was on, and all kinds of thoughts were going through my mind. How much I hated that feeling. how there was nothing I could do, nothing I could take that was gonna make the pain away, or maybe there was something, but some of the medication that I used to take at the very beginning of when I was diagnosed, for the first few years, I was taking like very powerful medication, very strong ones that give me a lot of side effects. And I had to take a lot of the medication to feel anything. And then as soon as I was able to stop those medication, I stopped. And also I was able to manage the condition better. So now the only thing that I have for my fibromyalgia, sorry, fibromyalgia symptom management is a medication called naltrexone, and I take it on low dosage. And also I get nerve blocks every week. So, and it's been very helpful because as much as painful as those shots are, they also give me enough relief to allow me to do more and to stay active, which is the actual medication. This is the actual treatment. This is what allows me to continue to keep going, right? So in that moment when those things are happening, I there's nothing I can take. There's nothing I can really do. I can, like, I'm trying to hold myself, but even the touching my skin was horrible. Feeling like the clothes on my skin felt just like too much. But I survived the night, and in the morning I had a hard time getting up. And this is a regular thing. My mornings are always the usually the hardest part of the day. Um, my body gets, it takes a while for my body to get going. So um, I was just waiting for things to settle down a little bit. And then, but I was pondering at the same time, should I just stay in bed all day and, recover because I didn't sleep last night? Not that I usually sleep a lot, but this time it was like 0. So I said, I could do that, but I know what's going to happen if I don't move at all today. I'm going to pay the price tomorrow, because that's what happened when I don't move at all for 24 hours. So I said, I need to move. At least I don't have to do much, right? But just move my body a little bit. So once I was finally able to get up, I went and took a shower. And how can I even describe the torture that was the feeling of the water on my skin? I just can't. I really can't. At the same time, that water on my skin, as the warmth was getting through my pores and getting through my muscles and everything, it starts actually relaxing my body, and I started feeling better. So I was like feeling like the torture of the actual water touching my skin, but also the relief of the water getting through. This is so strange to explain, and I hope you understand. But this is what it is for me, and for so many people everywhere who deal with those type of things. So I started feeling better. So I thought, okay, I breathed the sigh of relief, because I said, okay, I can actually move around a little bit, and I can actually finish that video and post it, so that I can stick to a schedule that I gave myself. Nobody made me do that. Nobody told me, hey, you have to post every Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. But I said that to myself. There is something very important that I want to do as much as possible, because this is one of those things that has been that ability to be a woman of my word, to do whatever I say I'm going to do, has been almost completely taken away from me in a way that has been so challenging. That's one of those things that I'm still having to come to grips with every single day, sometimes several times a day. And in that moment, like at night when I was suffering so much, to that night, I kept thinking, thank God I don't have to work in the morning. I'm not working right now. So that was a relief. But imagine that type of thoughts. You have to think about those type of things. And because had I been employed in that moment and I had to go to work in the morning, I would have had to make a decision. Do I try to push through and work in a state that's not safe to work in? Or do I just call in sick and then feel awful because I called in sick? And I didn't have to make that decision, but this is something that I have to think about constantly when I'm working, because this is my reality now. But the reason it's so difficult is because I've always been a person who was reliable. You could count on. When I said to people I'm going to do something and I would do it, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. And I would make those commitments to myself. Being reliable is as important when it comes to being reliable when it comes to other people than when it comes to me. When I make an appointment with myself, I want to keep it as well. And right now, I don't have the ability to do that all the time. And more often than not, actually, I can't. And so, but whenever I can, I think it's a part of wanting to be in control, I think also. But just being, because I have to mourn previous versions of myself all the time, I want to hold on to some pieces of me also. Don't get me wrong, I love who I am. I love that current version of myself. But I also understand that I'm very different in a lot of ways than who I was even yesterday. So that inability to always do the things that I said I was going to do has been difficult to handle, to put it mildly. And but I said I want to put that video out on Wednesday. So I was not going to kick myself. I was not going to destroy my self-esteem or do say horrible things to myself if I wasn't able to do it, right? But I would have felt bad if I didn't. Um, I did. I pushed through, but it did really cost me a lot because I was walking like a robot because everything hurt. I was feeling like I wanted to rest. I wanted to sleep. I used to be such a good sleeper. I was a professional sleeper. And then that's another thing that I had to, get used to, not being able to sleep on demand when I used to be just like lights out. And now it's over. But it's been over for a long time. But that doesn't mean that I don't miss it and I don't know how good sleep is, because whenever I can catch a good sleep, like last night actually, I had a kind of okay night, all things considered, and on like based on what I usually get, that was pretty good. So that's why I'm feeling okay right now. And when you sleep, that's the time where you're healing. That's when you're recovering. And when you don't have that, you really feel it. I've always been able to function even on no sleep, but that's not a good thing. I'm not necessarily proud of it. I made the most of it, but I don't think this is something that I should be like, hey, look at me. I don't sleep. That's not what I do. But all that to say that it is something that's very difficult for me, that I don't talk about a lot except when I talk to my doctors or to other people who go through this. But I want to talk about it to other people who don't necessarily know what that reality is, because there might be someone in your life who's going through something like that and who gets told all the time, oh, you're making it up. Or even when people don't tell you that they don't believe you, you can see that in the way that they react, in the type of questions that they ask you, or just the attitude that they have towards you when you start talking about those things. And it's hurtful, very hurtful. So I'm grateful that I don't have to deal with that. Um, that doesn't mean that it makes it easier to handle, because it's a ongoing process. Every single day, I have to work through those things and figure out how to make it work. I have to figure out how much or how little I have to do to make things better, and also figure out what the reason was. Like, I know that the humidity for that particular crisis, we call that a flare up or a flare if you want, but it's a crisis. Speaking of crisis, I just wanted to say quickly. The other day, I was watching somebody on TV, and the guy said, "Oh, we have so many crises to handle, or something like that." And I was like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, crisis." I thought it was crisis, and then it made me doubt myself. Is it? Is it actually crises? Let me go and Google it. It's ridiculous, I know, but I still did it. So anyway, does that happen to you sometimes when you hear a word and you're like, "That's not it," but you're like you're not sure because it makes you doubt, whether you actually know if that's the right word or not. But that's what happened with the word crisis. The plural is crisis, right? Like crises. So anyway, when that crisis happened, then you try to understand why it happened, even though you're not necessarily going to get the answers, but you try. The reason why we have to do that is because when you you identify patterns, then you can do your best to try to avoid certain situations that you know are going to lead to things like that. So in my case, I knew the weather was a part of it, like the high humidity. It was 87% that night. Um, oh, I forgot to mention that happened the night after that as well. Not as bad, but I didn't sleep as well the night after. So 80% of humidity that first night. Also, that visit that I had at the administrative, office, whatever, was for a very stressful situation. As much as I try to bring it down and not make it too big in a moment, it was still wreaking havoc inside of me. And also that could have been hormones. How would I know? You don't really know what's going on inside of you in terms of your hormones, right? So I don't know. It could have been me doing too much before that, because I told you I was like going places, I was, doing my walks and stuff like that. And sometimes I enjoy it so much that I just do too much. And, or, that can be anything really, a combination of so many things. And when you're not able to really, it's frustrating to not be able to say, oh, this is this one thing that did that. So now if I avoid that thing, that I can avoid that, because that's not how it works. And it's difficult. But I really wanted to talk about it because so many people deal with it, and also because I want to be very transparent in my conversations with you and in the way that I talk about my health, and I'm hoping that um, it can help you also see other people in a different light. People in your life who may have said that to you, and you would be like, "What are they talking about? What does that even mean?" It's hard. It's very hard for us to put words onto what we're feeling. Like describing your pain is like, what do you want me to say? I feel like I've been stabbed. Have you ever been stabbed? I haven't been stabbed, but I'm imagining that this is what it feels like. Or have you ever been burned? Yeah, but not like in my entire body, so I don't know what it feels like, but I'm assuming that's what it would feel like. And constantly you have to explain in a way that other people are going to understand, and it doesn't always do it. So I really wanted to take a moment to talk about that, because this is the type of conversations that I want to have on my channel, hoping that it's going to open the eyes of people to the reality that's um, to something that's a reality for so many of us, and also for the people who are going through it and who feel that nobody understands, that nobody sees them, that nobody believes them. I do. I believe you, and I see you, and I want you to know that you're not alone. It's not going to solve your problem. It's not going to make your life better, but I hope that in this moment, just hearing me say that out loud allows you to feel like you've been seen and heard by somebody else. So that's what I wanted to say. And so now I'm going to go back to watching my football, taking it easy, watching some basketball, obviously. And I recommend that you do too, because this season is really popping. And I will catch you up on a different, I'm a mess. I will catch you up on the next video. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and I'm really grateful to every single one of you, and I will see you later. Bye bye.